Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lionel Surreal, and I'm part of the Golden Valley Sports Broadcasting class. We're doing a GB themed sports podcast where we hope to bring you the very best Golden Valley athletes. We want to talk to coaches, athletes, and highlight their accomplishments. Today, I'm joined by senior cross country runner Caleb Horne. Caleb, as a senior on the team, you're now one of the leaders in the program. How is it taking on that role for you?
It's honestly really, really exciting, Julian. I mean, I've just seen the seniors whenever I was a freshman, and I was
Mhm.
inspired by them. They wanted to help me become better, and I want to return the favor to the current freshmen. I feel like it's my duty to help them succeed, just because I want to be a role model that they can look up to, and I want to
Uh-huh.
help them succeed.
So, what did you see in the seniors that inspired you?
I saw consistency. Cross country, cross country is a lot about consistency, and I was really excited whenever I got to get in that role because I also wanted to show that same consistency. That as well as kindness. They were so nice to me whenever I joined the team, and they just looked at me and saw me as an aspiring young athlete and wanted to help me improve. So I think it's my duty to return the favor. That is an interesting question because I honestly still don't know. I just looked at it and I was like, I don't really want to play any other sport, so I just wanted to try out for cross country because I wanted to lose weight, to be completely honest. But it turned into something more that I ended up enjoying a lot more than I thought I would, and I stuck with it.
What made you want to continue the sport for 4 years?
See, I think what made me want to continue the sport for this long is just the people. I love the people on this team. They've become some of my closest friends, including you, Julian. A lot of them have just been super nice, and it's a great environment to just hang out with people and improve together.
Thank you. So it's the atmosphere that the team brings that made you want to stay.
Of course.
All right. So what are your goals this season?
Well, my goals this season are to not lag behind, and I feel like that's probably the goal for most of the people, especially since this season is so different compared to previous ones. We're going to have to practice during times where we normally wouldn't have. And for me, that's most likely winter break. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I slack off a lot during winter break. However, that's not an option this time because season starts the day after Christmas. So if I don't push it for that last week, I'm going to regret it and my season's not going to go well. So I need to force myself to not slack off and continue pushing even when I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, you gotta not eat too much Christmas turkey.
Exactly. Don't want to fall asleep during the race because of that turkey.
Yeah. So how have you dealt with this pandemic, and how has it affected your training regimen?
How has it affected my running?
Yeah.
Honestly, it it really hasn't. It has removed one of the more enjoyable aspects of running, which was, like you said, the atmosphere of the team. However, I continued to run throughout the pandemic, just on trails around like 6 a.m. whenever no one was there. It was just strange. It was a different experience
Yeah.
to run by myself consistently than with a team
Mhm.
consistently, because I felt myself trapped in a loop of going the same distance around the same pace, not improving but not decreasing either. It was too much consistency, if that makes sense.
So Coach started practice at the New Hall parking ride, right? I mean, at the
Yes.
parking right next to the McDonald's.
Yeah,
Now, like,
of
is
course.
it different running with the teammates? How do you like? What's your experience with that?
Well, of course it's different. It's a breath of fresh air. I For the longest time I hadn't seen anyone face to face for like 4 months. Like it had been a very long and lonely time, but going back and seeing everyone again, even though we do have to be 6 feet apart and wear masks and all that, it's still just refreshing to see that everyone's okay. Everyone still as happy and cheery as they always were, and we're still going to improve despite the world being against us.
Yeah, you just gotta be consistent.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Now, Coach Price has been here for a while. How has he helped with the culture of this team? What has he changed over the years as far as his training regimen?
Well, let's see. Coach West, Coach West hasn't really changed all that much. However, he is
Yeah.
the backbone of the team. He's the structure and the discipline that gets everything done. Without
Exactly.
him, a lot of people would most likely be slacking off in hills. And with that, I'm not gonna lie. However, coach has changed his workouts a little bit to be more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas whenever I was a freshman, it was more divided into groups, and I honestly
Nice.
kind of preferred it that way because then whenever you like moved up a group, you felt accomplished. You were like you left that old group behind and you were in the new one. Granted,
Yeah.
you probably got dusted in the new one because you're
Of course.
new, but it still felt like an achievement.
Yeah. Now, how have you seen the program change over your 4 years?
Let's see. Honestly, the program hasn't been very different over the 4 years, except for maybe just this year, but this year's kind of
Well, we've
weird on all
seen
fronts.
new people come to the team. Like, what's your
Oh,
experience about that? That's what I'm trying to say.
oh, of course, yeah. I I love new people coming to the team. I'm always happy to have new faces come around and introduce them to everyone because a lot of people have trouble finding friend groups in high school or anywhere and stuff like that. And I feel like our team is a safe
Yeah,
place. If you want to join, we'll welcome you in with open arms.
exactly. Now, how do guys establish a camaraderie or togetherness on a team where everyone is running um, and maybe not always near or each other during practice? How do guys establish a camaraderie or togetherness on a team where everyone is running and maybe not always near each other during practice?
Well, it's kind of difficult. However, we can still talk to each other
Yeah,
and we still have the same like fun of like pushing and having each other follow. Granted, it does have to be at a distance, so it's a little more difficult, but
exactly.
it's honestly better than the alternative, which is everyone running solo. So
Hmm.
just being there, we're already building a team.
Exactly. That's a great answer. And also, we've started practice again, so we're starting building that bond together along with new teammates.
That's true. We are. I'm very excited for what this season has to come.
And following up on that, what type of team bonding do you guys do?
Well, a lot of the team bonding does unfortunately happen over text because sometimes we're not exactly allowed to
Mhm.
meet up over the place.
Yeah,
But
but before this pandemic.
oh, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's simple. We just went out together different places. We went out to the mall, we got some lunch, anything really, just kind of a hangout with friends.
And also, running together too. That's a good bonding experience and
Of
racing.
course.
Now, how have you changed as a runner over the years?
I think I had started to take it more seriously. I think
Mm.
I kind of moved away from just the mindset of I'm doing this to lose weight to more of I'm doing this because I enjoy this and I want to get better and be able to confidently say that I won
Hmm.
a race or maybe something like that.
Exactly.
But I think it just kind of hit me around freshman year because I kind of slacked off a lot freshman year, to be completely honest. I didn't feel great with myself after the season, barely slipped into my PR, but I knew I could do better if I really applied myself. And I think that I've just become more consistent and more willing to put in the effort.
Nice. Uh, and freshmen slack off. Their first year across country, they slack off a lot.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I
Uh,
very much regret doing that.
where have you seen the most improvement personally?
Um, that's a toughie. Well, personally, I think I just seen the most improvement in my work ethic, in my reason to do it. I guess if you could put it that way. I become more willing to do things, whereas a lot of the time during my freshman year, I would hear that we're having practice on Saturdays, and then I would look at, well, video games or some other outlet and be like, which one would I rather do here? And then pick the wrong choice. However, now I kind of realize that like I need to appreciate my time and do what I can to hang out with everybody, and that's not worth staying home and doing some other thing or blowing off practice.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
Exactly. That's should be a cross country motto right there.
Yeah, it should be. Now, what would you like to improve on this upcoming season?
this upcoming season, I'd mainly like to improve my breathing. That has been a large difficulty for me.
Uh-huh.
I've I've had trouble just kind of keeping it consistent because I've noticed after I go on a very like fast run, even if it's a short time, like I don't know, like a 5 minute mile or something like that, I I'm out of breath. However, I'm not like hurting, if that makes sense. I just need to figure out a way to balance that out and keep that consistent for a little while.
Yeah, for me, it's like the speed, because I'm not that fast, so I have to like work on my speed more.
That's true.
Yeah. So now that you're a senior, how have you helped younger, less experienced guys on the team become better runners or better people?
Well, I think the main thing is I just kind of included them in conversations because the hardest part about like high school, in my opinion, is just the social interaction, especially for someone like me who was extremely shy up until about, I don't know, like a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to break out of your shell unless you have a good friend group to go with. So just
Yeah.
inviting someone in, helping them in conversations, and then giving them general pointers on runs. It's it's just a good experience to help people out. I honestly really enjoy it, and I feel like all seniors to come should be able to do that.
Okay, now, what is the best and worst thing about cross country?
Um, the best thing about cross country is finishing a race or finishing a run and feeling water go down your throat because that is the most beautiful feeling in the world. Water tastes 10 times better whenever you're dehydrated. And you have that
Yeah,
feeling
but
of, yeah, I just ran 12 miles. What of it? However,
yeah,
the worst thing about cross country is running during the summer. That is awful because the only time you can run during the summer is in the morning, which means you have to wake up very, very, very early in the morning to be able to get a decent run in without being dehydrated and sunburned.
yeah. So even in the fall, it's hot. Like this weekend, it was like 117 degrees. Like that's crazy.
True, but it is starting to cool down, so hopefully we can go on those nice 3 o'clock in the afternoon runs again.
Unfortunately, that's the end of this podcast. I'd like to thank Caleb Horne for taking time to talk with me on the GV Sports Broadcasting Podcast. Caleb, thank you very much and best of luck this season. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. We're going to try and bring you more from GV athletes and coaches. Thank you everyone who listened. We hope you keep listening. If you have any suggestions for us, please let us know by emailing and following us on Twitter at GV Broadcasting and on Instagram at GV Sports Broadcasting. Thank you, Caleb.